This is Vostrum, a continent still recovering from a devastating war. You see, 42 years ago the Seven Sisters came along and people still don't know how they managed to conjure magic so powerful. With the view that those with magical abilities are better than them without, they waged war against the continent with the goal of making sure that all mages were at the top of the social food chain. Although they gained a lot of following, especially from elves just because they were elves themselves, their ruthless ways turned more people against them than with them. That's the only reason the Order were able to beat them in the end. Pure numbers. What the Seven Sisters didn't take into consideration is although yes they were the most powerful mages on the continent, they were unable to fight against an army 5 times the size of them. Through manpower and tactics, the Order managed to slay all but one of the Seven Sisters, whose whereabouts is still unknown. Since that war, the Order's harsh rule has only got 10 times harder. They deemed it illegal to practice magic unless you have been trained through one of their schools. And they enforced harsh laws against anyone who misuses magic through trained mage hunters known as the Templars. This led any magic practitioner that didn't want to retrain in one of the Order's school to either flee to the east or stay in the west but hide their magical abilities. 42 years later, although mages aren't hunted as relentlessly, these laws still stand, and there's a new threat. Over the last 2 years, more and more demons and demonic portals have been popping up around Vostrum. It started with a few here and there, but now it's got to the size where they are overrunning villages. Although there are many theories, no one really knows why this is happening, and scholars are worried that this is only going to get worse and a struggle to be able to keep on top of. And that is where we pick up with our heroes, each of which had ended up in a small town prison awaiting trial. Well, sort of lucky for them, this town was the next victim of a demon attack. As the attack begun, the prison guards ended up having to leave the prison to defend the town, all but one who was left to make sure that all the prisoners stayed in their cell. Out of fear of what was happening in the town, he made a deal with the prisoners, saying he would release them as long as they defended him. They of course agreed, but the first prisoner that he let out, Ixar, a red dragonborn, stabbed him in the back and left himself. The party managed to escape from their cells, but it was already too late as the demons had already got into the prison. Luckily they managed to fight their way through the demons and released a few prisoners along the way. As they managed to get out of the prison, the demons were retreating, done with their attack, so the party went to the docks to see if there were any boats they could commandeer. Most of the ships were on fire, but they did manage to find one that was just the right size for them. They sailed to the west, not really knowing where they were going, and after a couple of weeks their luck ran out. Their ship was attacked by sea creatures that were trying to sink the boat to get whatever riches were on board. The party managed to fight them off and keep the boat afloat long enough to get it to the nearest shore. And this is where we're going to pick up the stream. The party are going to be stranded on a tropical island. They don't completely know where they are. And we're going to follow the story as there's some strange goings on the island and the party want to get back to normal civilization. The stream is going to go for around 8 to 12 sessions and each session is going to be 2 hours each. I just thought that was a bit of an easier digestible amount of time than a lot of the 4-hour streams that are out there. The stream will be every Tuesday at 8 PM at GMT, 4 PM EST and 1 PM at PST. And it's going to be here on my YouTube channel that I'll be going live, and of course I'll be posting it so you can watch it at a later date if you're not available at that time. We're going to be using Foundry VTT as our virtual tabletop of choice, and there's going to be maps from Incarnate, Flowscape and Arcane Forge mainly, so come along if you want to see how I use all of them. I'm going to be doing other streams in the week as well while I prepare for the session, so if you want to come along, ask any questions about what I'm doing, please feel free to come along. And we have put a lot of effort into the production of the stream, so I would really appreciate it if you just gave it a chance, came and watched the first session and see if you like it. But until next time, happy gaming.